what inspired you to write this particular musical?
Well, what inspired me to start writing musicals, I think, was a combination of a couple of things. The very first song that I ever wrote was for Glass House. I don't know if any of you have heard about it, but that man right there behind the camera was our student advisor. And we put together a little a cappella group here at the school, and we did some original songs. And the very first song that I wrote was In a Little While. I don't know if you knew that, but that was the very first song that I wrote. And once I did that, and everybody's like always wanting to hear that song, we did it, and it stroked my ego a little bit, I have to say. But that I got the bug, and I was like, I really want to write some songs. So I started writing more songs for that. And eventually Miss Marie got a hold of a new script called Kaneka People from Ty Adams, who was working with Wade Hall. And I heard about it. I don't even remember how I heard about it, but I knew that Robert W. Smith at the time was leaving. He was going to go work in Miami, and she was going to be working with him on an original score. And I said, well, if she wants an original score, I'll give her an original score. So I walked into her office not knowing, I don't even think, we'd never really worked on anything except for a musical. Yeah, we did chorus on it, but that was the only thing we'd done. And I walked into her office, you know, not really knowing her except from the stage, and I was like, I want to work with you on a new score. She was, oh, well, okay. Well, how are you qualified? Exactly.
You're being way too
And I think it was about a week or so we talked, and she gave me a script, and finally I was able to convince her that I could do it. And Mr. Jenright had just gotten some recording equipment here, and through that process, that was the very first music I'd ever written for the theater. And I really learned a lot in that process about, you know, what works dramatically and what doesn't. And then we worked together very closely on Godspell and on a couple of other musicals. And then when we finally did Antigone, I was hooked by that point. And at the end of Antigone, she had gotten a brochure from NYU randomly. It had never gotten one before. I don't think did you say you've gotten one since?
Oh, yeah.
You've gotten one since? Okay. Yeah, but she had never gotten one before. And she handed it to me, just thinking that I might be interested in it. And so I looked at it, and I put it away. I was like, I don't know about this. It's maybe over my head. I came back to it about a year later when I was looking for a grad school, and I applied, and I got in. And so it was really a process of self-discovery and trial and error and really experimentation here, because I had never written anything before when I came here. And I don't think I would have gotten the opportunity if I had gone anywhere else. I was just talking to someone this morning. I had a full scholarship to go to Georgia Tech to be a chemical engineer. And at the last minute, I decided to come to Troy because they were going to have a music business program. And since the music business program didn't happen until after I graduated, I had to have another major. So I was a pre-med major for a little while, and an accounting major. And I finally switched over after I was spending all of my time over here. I was like, you know, my heart really is in the theater and in writing music and being involved in music in some way. And so I switched back over to music education, and I stuck with it until I graduated, because I needed to have some major.
And what inspired Tinyard Hill?
Oh, what inspired Tinyard Hill was, well, in 2001, this is all bringing it up to Tinyard Hill. Like, I hadn't really thought about Tinyard Hill in 2001, but, you know, in 2001 was when we bombed Baghdad. And when we were looking for material to write, I was really interested in looking at the decision of a young man to go to war. A lot of times, you know, you'll hear the story, people will tell the story about a young man coming back from war, and he's messed up, and he has all these demons to sort through. And we really wanted to sort of look at the opposite story. What is the decision? What is the story of a young man who ends up going to war? Is it that he's being heroic, or is it that he is faced with larger than life, with a larger than life situation that he then has to face up to and go forward with? And we wanted to do a Southern piece, and I think that when I started looking back at my experience and the way that I felt when I was watching Baghdad being bombed, it was like, I really feel like I wanted to be a part of something bigger. But at the same time, I was very afraid because I didn't know what would happen if I were to go forward with it. And I looked into potential of joining the army, what would the Peace Corps be like, and then I say jivingly a little bit, then I went to graduate musical theater writing for write musicals. But no, it was a very real thought for a brief period of time. And whatever you think about the war now, that was real. When the trade centers were bombed, I felt under attack. I felt like there was something bigger that I should be a part of. And that whatever, all of this stuff that's going on around me is just noise, and that there was a bigger call. And I think we really tried to capture that idea in what Tinyard Hill is now. So, is that pretty clear? Sometimes I don't make sense to myself. I self-edit in my head.